Slayer of Demons. After defeating Armor Spider, we amassed quite a bit of souls, so let's level up first thing, throwing a few points into vitality and endurance, because we can never have too much of that.
Thou seekest soul, then touch. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted. Art thou done? Main thine. Thou see then. I keep the can. Wait! Thou seekest then touch.
But perhaps I...
Sadly, to my knowledge, Ostrava never says any more than what he's already told us. I do quite like having him in the Nexus, though, where I know he's safe and not at risk of being held hostage by enemies again. Fang Tunnel being the way it is, we picked up a ton of ore, so we should definitely take the time to deposit it with our good friend Thomas. There are also a few weapons we picked up to deposit as well.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
With that out of the way, it's time to once again return to soul form to keep our world tendency intact. The second level of World 2 is quite different in contrast to the first, but I'm pretty confident our time with it will go smoothly. Let's return to the Archstone of the Demon Armor Spider, the Tunnel City. Below the smithing grounds lies a huge tunnel worthy of its name. It's said a dragon's grave is in the deepest part of the molten area. That description is really exciting, specifically the last part. At the end of this stage, apparently, we'll find the grave of a dragon. It's such a brief sentence, but just enough to get your imagination going on what the resting place of a deceased beast like that could possibly entail. As soon as we go forward, this crystal lizard is going to try and get us killed. And almost succeed. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Luckily for us, the scale miners in the second level of Fang Tunnel are still vulnerable to magic and piercing damage. Past the enemies is the great tunnel that the description spoke of. We're going to head the opposite way now, but I can promise you that we'll be visiting it soon. Those orbs are mean. They practically gave me a heart attack when I first approached them, and to make matters even more terrifying, there's a third moving card with one on top that doesn't start moving until you're already making your way through the tunnel. Here's another fat official. Given his proximity to the Archstone, if you're really hard-pressed for healing items, he's a reliable farm spot because he will always drop 1 to 3 full moon grass. It'd certainly be time-consuming to get a decent amount, but it can be done. There's a lift here, but we're going to roll through some shell remains so I can show off the item we just got, the Augite of Guidance. It's a bright stone that you can place on the ground to mark your progress so you don't get lost, like a prism stone in Dark Souls. Receiving these may seem a bit frivolous or not particularly useful, but the latter part of this level is arguably one of the most confusing and labyrinthine areas the series has to offer, so it's good that they give you some means of combating it. eviscerated with Soul Arrow is a rockworm. They're extremely resistant to physical damage, but weak to magic, and their mouths offer a critical weak spot for damage of all types. It's so sad to me that crystal lizards get so scared by the slayer of demons that they're willing to throw themselves off of the nearest ledge rather than give up their precious ores. Now that I look at this clip with that mindset, I suppose getting sliced up isn't exactly appealing. I would say that I wish there were a way to just grab the lizard, steal their ore, and then let them go free. But if you look carefully at their model, you'll see that the ore is actually embedded into their body. Now we could go back the way we came and descend using the elevator, but there's no fun in that. Greystone is the ore used to further the crushing path that I described when we found the battle axe. A fitting reward for a strength character daring enough to take the plunge onto these platforms. There's quite an interesting sight to behold to the side here, but I'll save it for a little bit later as it leads towards the end of the level and we need to find our way back to the elevator that we didn't take previously. When I think of Stone Fang Tunnel, these mines are what I remember immediately. They're beyond cramped, they're narrow. So narrow, in fact, that sometimes the camera will share with you a glimpse of the infinite, endless space that occupies the nothingness between the tunnels. That explosion ball is a fun surprise, especially because the game expects you to be approaching it from the other side, and most players do on their first run through. So you turn the corner and boom, you died. These are our first two black phantoms, which you may have heard me mention earlier, probably in the description for one of the miracles. These two enemies mean business, and not just any business, well-coordinated, synchronized business, even going so far as to plan their outfits in advance before attempting to take you out. I'm going to deal with them in probably the most boring way possible, chucking magic at them to get their HP low and then sealing the deal with a few melee strikes. All talk, these guys. Or no talk, I guess. Since one of them decided to step directly to their doom because they were so terrified, I'm going to quit out of the game and launch it again. This is a way of getting items from NPCs that fall off the ledge, and it does work in other parts of the game, but it didn't work out here. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that NPC does drop anything, but I wanted to make sure. Either way, the other Black Phantom dropped a Black Eye Stone, a chunk of Dragon Stone, and a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. The Black Eye Stone lets you invade the world of another player in body form as a Black Phantom, with your sole goal being to kill them by whatever means necessary. different from the invasion mechanics of the Dark Souls games. You can only invade when you're in soul form. The goal is to regain your body, so when you reach that goal, you're unable to invade until you die again. This is the crystal lizard nest that the filthy man mentioned, and what a poor attempt at looting it I made. I have many a memory, or rather, the same memory repeated over and over again, of grinding these guys out for their ore. Luckily in my replays, I haven't the need for grinding. And really, unless you're gunning for the trophies, grinding is such a rare, if not non-existent, requirement in these games. But it's still available, and I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to send this lift down in case I die and need to come back. Almost got screwed over by the level geometry there. The orb saw it fit to spare me, though.
Oh, you're not mad like the rest, are you? Well, what jolly travelling companions are we? Pleased to meet you. Call me Patches. Oh, see that treasure over there? Go on and take it. My gift to you, just to show that we're friends. Phew, I'm glad to meet you. These soul-starved imbeciles will drive you mad. What's the matter? I'm going out on a limb here. Give me a chance to prove my good faith.
This great friend of ours is Patches. We have no reason to distrust him, so let's grab our treasure.
Uh-oh. Well, who'd have thought it? Bear bugs! My apologies. It's just not your day. As promised, the treasure is all yours. If you survive, that is. Good luck to you.
The gall of that swindler. I'll never trust anyone ever again as long as I live. As far as punishments go, however, this one isn't so bad. I wasted a bit more time than I should have just to show you how much HP these bear bugs have, but it's not exactly a hostile creature, and you can literally just walk around it and confront your betrayer.
You! How did you do that? Worry not. The treasure is all yours. Tough luck with the bear bugs, but you certainly showed them, didn't you? Here it is. The treasure. Safe and sound. Go on. Take it. Take it. You're simply unlucky. Worry not. Stay by me, and my luck will rub off on you soon enough.
Well, maybe I was a bit too hasty with my hatred. He did save us the trouble of picking up the Ring of Flame Resistance ourselves, so maybe he's not all bad. Let's loot the other side of this ledge area before ending off. These bear bugs are teeny tiny in comparison to the one that attempted to block our path, but they do a ton of damage and rock a sizable HP pool. Because I don't like to sit around and mash R1 to kill them, we'll just play the waiting game and go around them. This big guy is more of a problem, so I'll just ask him nicely. Mr. Big Scary Bear Bug, can you let us pass? Thank you very much. Ooh, kind of awkward, but can you do it again? He's a sweetheart. Whoopsies. Up here is a great axe, a big strength weapon, and an extremely fun one to use at that, but it ain't for us. With that pocketed somewhere and somehow on our person, I'll bid you adieu. Thanks so much.